What's up, disc golfers? Joe here with Joe's Disc Golf, and I have got a special edition podcast video just for you. That's right. I've got something special going on right here, right now, coming to you, recorded, not live. It's not live. I'm sorry. No sponsors for the special edition ones here, but I am going to be talking about the Champions Cup, the brand new major that the PDGA has started for the 2022 season, and it is exciting. We're hosting it at W.R. Jackson in Appling, Georgia at the International Disc Golf Center at the PDGA headquarters, essentially. I mean, that's basically what it is, and it is exciting. The W.R. Jackson course is a very, very difficult course. It is a heavily wooded course with long holes. The men's side clocks in at 10,485 feet, par 68, and the women's is only a tad bit shorter at 8,915 feet, par 68. If you're watching the men and you have watched the Hall of Fame Classic from 2017, well, maybe not the 2017 one, because there was a bit of a redesign for 2018. So if you watch the Hall of Fame Classic in 2018 and 2019, or the smattering of different coverages that have happened since 2018, you'll be very, very familiar with this course. Pretty much nothing has changed. I am fairly confident that given the storms that they're known to get in Georgia and just old age, probably some trees have fallen, some limbs have come down, and just general maintenance has happened. But for the most part, the course is as it has been for the last 4 years. No major changes there. This course has hosted Worlds, like I've mentioned. It hosted the Hall of Fame Classic 2017, 18, and 19. Nothing in 2020 because nothing happened in 2020, essentially. 2021 was a weird year. 2022, they gave up everything. PDGA gave up everything except the majors. Now, the Champions Cup is going to be a rotating major, and it will be in a different location next year. But this year, here, right now, W.R. Jackson, the consensus is get your chainsaws, get your lopers, get your hedge trimmers, because if you get off the fairway, you're SOL. That's about it. That's the consensus there. One of the keys to winning this major and succeeding at this course is hitting your lines, hitting your fairways, same thing in my opinion, hitting your fairways and staying on the fairway. If you get off, your scramble game needs to be 10,000 times better than you've ever had your scramble game, because it is going to be incredibly difficult to get back on the fairway and try to save that par. You can forget about birdies. Just absolutely throw that out of your mind. If you end up off the fairway, just forget about it. That's just simple as that. That's how thick it is. A lot of the holes do have a nice little backhand turnover, or just a straight up backhand straight shot. So you do have some options there. Players like Sarah Hokum and Big Germ are going to do just fine with their flip-up forehand shots. Things will go well for them there. In fact, Sarah Hokum has won a Worlds at W.R. Jackson back in the day, which was a Wednesday. Yeah, I know, dating myself with that reference, but that is what's going on there. There are some slight changes, though, on the MPO side, and this has more to do with the tournament director at his discretion, and that is the tournament director I'm looking for it in my notes because I can't find it in my notes, but he was on the PDGA radio podcast, and he talked about I really wish I could find it because I am blanking on his name hardcore, but that is okay. The changes are on holes 9 and 18, where there is a ditch and a creek, respectively, and the ditch goes down pretty deep, and it ends up being pretty bad. So what they're doing for that is marking it OB. And that's just, that is what it is. But there's also going to be a drop zone. So if you're on the MPO, you end up in that ditch, it's hard to do. Same with the creek. It's hard to do, but when you have 100 people throwing off that tee pad 4 times, someone's going to get a bad shot. Someone's going to get a roll away. Someone's going to hit a tree and it's going to catch edge and it's going to go down the ditch. It's going to happen. So rather than risking player safety, risking pace of play, you're not going to have to go down there to get your disc and play some horrible shot out to get up. You're going to go to the drop zone, which the drop zone is going to be the tee for FPO on holes 9 and 18, which is good. This is coming from the tournament director, Robert Leonard, who I finally found his name in my notes. Note to all of you future podcasters out there, have better notes. Make sure that you write things down in a way that makes sense to you, where you can find your information quickly. But that's just how that goes. And, that's kind of how that is. So on the women's side, they have changed some of the pars and changed some of the hole locations, some of the tees that they're going to be using. So the women will play a mix of the short and the longs, while the men are playing all the longs. Some of the shorts that the women are playing are to help with the pace of play and actually help test specifically the women's skills. Because I don't know if you've noticed this, but men and women's disc golf is different. They don't play the game the same way, and what challenges an FPO player might not challenge an MPO player, and something that challenges MPO isn't appropriate for FPO, and so on and so forth, mostly in the distance category. But they have looked at historical evidence of how this is played, how the last time that FPO was out here, they noticed that the 3 hardest holes on the course were holes 8, 9, and 18, where there were almost no birdies. I believe it was hole 8 that had 2 birdies in 4 rounds, and those were both by Paige Pierce. Both of them were long throw-ins. So they have changed the par on 8 to be a par 5 rather than a par 4, a little more appropriate. And holes 9 and 18, they are playing from the shorter positions, which does not change anything about the hole except the distance, and makes it more appropriate for the FPO field, which will still provide plenty of scoring separation, and it's going to be a ton of fun to watch. It is going to be so much fun to watch. On April 7th, that would be about a week ago. It'll be a week from when this tournament is supposed to start. What happened there was Mother Nature was kind enough to throw a wrench in the mix and dump buckets upon buckets of water down at W.R. Jackson, to the point where part of the course had flooded. Fortunately, tournament director, tournament staff, International Disc Golf Center, IDGC staff were able to get the course cleaned up. Pros were not able to really practice on Thursday, but they have been able to get out since then because the staff worked tirelessly, constantly, around the clock, trying to get this course playable, trying to make sure that they can get as many practice rounds as they want. Unfortunately, you couldn't get out there on Thursday, but there's still plenty of other things that the pros can do to work on. They have plenty other aspects of their game where they can go out and play and practice. Unfortunately, they couldn't practice this course, which you need as many rounds as possible, because every time you get off the fairway, you end up in a different spot with a different shot, and you don't know what to do because everything is different every single time, and it is that vastly different every single time. But bring it back to the weather. Weather is looking pretty good. This Thursday, during their tee-off, there is only a 7% chance of rain, and this is as of looking on Tuesday, April 12th. And this is looking ahead at Thursday, April 14th. I looked at the wrong day, Wednesday. So Thursday, April 14th, high of 78, afternoon thunderstorms, 43% chance of rain or precipitation, winds southwest 10 miles per hour. This is all according to weather.com for Appling, Georgia. I guarantee nothing because I work in sports medicine. I cover outdoor spring sports right now. And the one thing I can guarantee is that severe weather will come in. It will change your plans. Things will get delayed. Things will get canceled. Things will get rescheduled. Now, this is a bit different because of it being a tournament. They'll try to delay and do as much as they can, but hey, it is what it is. Friday, April 15th, it'll be a high of 81, partly cloudy, 24% chance of rain, winds northeast 8 miles per hour. Saturday, a beautiful 78 degrees, isolated thunderstorms, 41% chance there with southwest winds 6 miles per hour. And on the final round, Sunday, April 17th, Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, everyone. High of 75, mostly cloudy, only a 24% chance of rain. East winds at 6 miles per hour. So who knows? There is a chance for rain. We don't know what's going to happen, but that is what it is. Some of the keys to success here. I already mentioned one of them before. That is going to be, this is my all points of success here, AWL. It's a woodworking tool. Don't worry about it. These are my points, all points of success. Stay on the fairway. If you don't stay on the fairway, your scramble game, point number 2, needs to be the best it's ever been. But you also know, combined with that, know when to take your medicine. It might frustrate the hell out of you. It might be embarrassing, but the best shot you might have when you are scrambling in the woods might be a 90-degree throw to your left or your right back to the fairway. It might be, behind you. If you're facing forward, you might have to turn around and throw at the 7 o'clock position because that gets you back on the fairway. And rather than throwing that hero shot that gets you deeper into the woods and just adds another stroke and adds another stroke and adds another stroke, and suddenly pitching out and getting that bogey sounded like a pretty good idea when you're staring down a double or a triple or a quad. You never know what's going to happen in the woods. You think you've got a clear line, and that might not be there. The final point that you need for success is going to be angle control / hitting your mark, because again, putting's important for everything. I don't think it is going to be the biggest difference maker, more so than any other tournament than it is. But what you need to do is be able to hit your specific landing zones. There are specific landing zones here where if you blow past them because you've got the distance, you're probably not going to end up in a spot that will give you another chance at a better shot for your second shot or for your third shot, for your up shot. There are a lot of par 4s, a lot of par 5s. Par 68. There's a lot of real estate to cover there. Over 10,000 feet on the men's side, almost 9,000 feet on the women's side. So you need to be able to hit your landing zones, because those zones will set you up for the easiest and best opportunity for your next shot. So those are your keys to success. Hit your fairways, scramble your butt off, and hit your landing zones. I do kind of like landing zones and fairways similar, but in my mind, they're different enough. This is super exciting. And all the eyes of disc golf are going to be on W.R. Jackson, on the PDGA, because this is their major. They gave up the national tour to the Disc Golf Pro Tour. It is now the only 4 tournaments that they run on the pro side are the 4 majors. This is the first one. And you bet your butt, with this being a brand new major, with this being a large purse, that everyone is going to be just scrutiny out the wazoo. Everybody's just going to be eyes on everything here. They're going to be critiquing everything. So the PDGA better be ready for a whole bunch of criticism, positive, negative, whatever it is, warranted or not. There's going to be a lot of comparisons of going, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? The PDGA needs to make sure that they are hitting the bare minimum DGPT standards, because we saw the vast difference between the National Tour last year and the Disc Golf Pro Tour last year. The standards were night and day. So I'm really hoping that the additional staff, the reduced amount of tournaments that they're running, will help lead to a better product, a better major from the PDGA. I will be the first to call them out on their BS. I'll be the first to congratulate them on things that they did right. Now, this is the first major of the year. This is a brand new major. This is a rotating major. There are a lot of things that are up in the air about this particular tournament. So I'm not going to be quick to judge on everything. I will give them a bit of leeway, but this isn't their first rodeo. This is going to have growing pains, and things are going to go wrong. That's a simple fact. But it's how they react to that that's really going to make the difference here. And I'm really curious how that is going to go. I don't know. I'm really hoping for a good, successful tournament. I want to see something great. I want to see something awesome. But I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. Who knows? Now, do you want to watch this tournament? If the answer is yes, you can watch it. If you're a PDGA member, you can watch this live. All 4 rounds starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch this all on the Disc Golf Network. You can go over to joesdiscgolf.com, click on the Champions Cup article, scroll to the bottom there, and you can follow the link there under the free 12 PDGA members link. You can go ahead and follow that. It's some huge PDGA thing where you got to do a couple certain things where you can log into the Disc Golf Network and then watch it for free. If you don't have the time to watch 3+ hours of FPO and 3+ hours of MPO, you can catch all the action post-produced from Jomez, who's got the MPO lead card. Gatekeeper Media has the MPO chase card. GK Pro has FPO lead card. And chase card will be Ace Run Productions. Very, very exciting stuff. Final thing I want to get into. Last thing I want to get into is my predictions. And I am sorry for the 6 individuals I am picking here because I've got the top 3 from MPO and top 3 from FPO. And so far, the Joe's Disc Golf predictions have essentially been the kiss of death. Anytime I pick you to win, you end up losing. I'm sorry. So factor this into your skip ace, factor this into your grip 6, pick 6, and maybe you win a belt if you don't pick the people I'm about to list off. On the MPO side, in third place, I think it's going to be Ricky. He looked well playing this in 2017, 2018, 2019. He looked really good playing all those. He won it in 2018 or 2019. I forget what it was, but he was throwing them daggers like crazy. I think he's going to end up in third place here. I think there are going to be just a couple shots that separate him from taking down this tournament because he doesn't know his bag fully. He has grown so much since Las Vegas Challenge. He has gotten so much better, but I think he's just going to end up in 1 or 2 weird situations, and he's going to grab for a disc, and it's going to be the wrong disc for the shot or just the wrong shot. Something's going to happen where it's going to be just that little scotch of information that he just doesn't quite have, where he hasn't had this quite situation just yet with this bag. So again, third place, really good at W.R. Jackson. Second place, the woodsman himself, Mr. Chris Dickerson. He is a phenomenal woods disc golfer because, Tennessee, he played, there's woods everywhere, which makes him a fantastic woods golfer because he played in the woods. He's always looked good in the woods. He hits his lines like crazy. You saw him at Music City Open. I almost said the Open at Nashville because I got the Open at Belton and the Open at Tallahassee on my brain right now. But Music City Open, hitting his lines, doing all that, he looked phenomenal. But there's one man that I do not want to bet against, and that is Paul Macbeth. And Paul Macbeth has so many major wins, and he always, for the biggest stages out there, he always cranks it up to 11. And I just think he is going to do really well here. I think he's going to end up winning it on the MPO side. On the FPO side, I have in third place Paige Pierce. I know, sacrilege. Burn the witch. Heresy. Crucify him, I hear you shout at me. Paige Pierce, third place. I think that she is going to end up off the fairway a little too often. I think she's going to blow past the appropriate landing zones. I think she's still going to play really well, but I think these 2 other players are going to play even better. In second place, I have Valerie Mondahano, who has been playing absolutely lights out, and in all the tournaments she's played in 2022, she averages second place. She plays really good in the woods. She's hitting her line. She's hitting her stride. She is looking on fire. At this point, she looks like she can do no wrong. And maybe she can, maybe she can't. But I think she's going to look really, really well playing this course here. Finally, I have Kristen Tatar, who has the forehand, has the backhand, doesn't have quite the Paige distance, but has this certain je ne sais quoi about her that is just phenomenal. I think she's going to do really well in the woods. I think she's going to be hitting her lines. She's got her forehand. Her scramble game is strong. She is going to end on a high note. I'm not 100% certain. Hopefully, I'll find this information out for the normal Friday podcast, but I believe this is going to be the last or one of the last tournaments before she heads back to Europe to go do the European tour and then kick butt over there and come back. I think those are my picks right there. So to recap, real quick, MPO, third place, Ricky. Second place, Chris Dickerson. First place, Paul Macbeth, because duh. FPO, third place, Paige Pierce. Second place, Valerie Mondahano. First place, Kristen Tatar. She's going to take down a major. I think that's about it. Got any questions, comments, concerns? Let me know in the comments below. Find me on Snapchat. Why'd I say Snapchat? Find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter at Joe's Disc Golf. You can also hit joesdiscgolf.com to find a ton of great information. You can catch all the great merch that I have on there. New stuff is constantly added. Added a new hat with the Joe's Disc Golf logo in the small position, lower right-hand side. It's a beautiful Adidas hat. Get it while supplies last. And when I say while supplies last, I mean not that I have the supplies. I mean, we're still suffering through some supply chain issues. So if you want one of those hats, you better jump on it now. And that's everything. Oh, you can also catch this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can catch the audio version wherever you get your audio podcasts. Apple, Anchor, Spotify, Google, Breaker, wherever. We're everywhere. Go ahead and find them now. Thank you all for watching. I've been Joe. You've been awesome. And if you get kicked deeper in the woods, which most of these pros will this weekend, then you have transgressed against Jesus and you need to repent and reflect. But if you get that beneficial kick back into the fairway, then you need to praise Jesus and say, thank you, Jesus, for helping me out there, because Lord knows you're going to need a little help this weekend. Thank you all for watching. Can't wait to see you all in the next video. Can't wait to talk to you all in the next podcast.